Turkish Delight has been around even longer than me, since the 1700s, they reckon. We commonly know it as an exotic treat, but my next guest is reinterpreting it for Britain. Welcome, Merle. Merle Moustafa makes Turkish Delight using her Cypriot father's original recipe. They are corn flour and sugar syrup sweets, which I know and love from my time living in Cyprus. Now, there's lots of different colours here, and I take it lots of different flavours.
Yeah.
Which one's this one with the nuts in?
Walnuts.
Walnuts. Oh, yeah.
Which actually, in Cyprus, that's like the main flavour, actually.
There's walnuts everywhere. In Turkey and Cyprus, specialist shops sell Turkish Delight, made with family recipes handed down through the generations. Do you do a lemon one or a citrus one?
Try this one. This is actually a Cypriot orange flower blossom, and it's been distilled here, though. That just tastes like Cyprus, I think, or the Mediterranean.
It does. It does indeed. It's taken me right back.
Yeah.
The food heritage is incredible, whether it's from the Greek side or whether it's from the Turkish side. But Merle has given this sweet treat her own twist by creating some unusual flavours infused with the English countryside.
Got geranium. I do still like to do...
Geranium? Can I try this?
You can. It's quite subtle, that one. But I've got English rose, and this one's got petals in it.
It's slightly chewier than I expected. Is that your interpretation of it?
I think it should be a bit chewy.
It is.
This is Earl Grey. You might like that's quite a nice one. Because we're a nation of tea drinkers, I thought, well, Earl Grey with the bergamot.
It's funny, you can't smell it at all, can you?
It's quite subtle. Well, with most of them, you don't get the flavours straight away. They come through kind of afterwards. Can you get that?
It's right at the end. But yeah, I'm definitely getting that. It's quite refreshing, that one, as well.
Yeah, it's nice.
They're delicious. Do you know what it goes well with? A cup of tea.
Yeah.
Do you know what it does? Because of the sugar in there and the glucose, as soon as you drink warm tea, it just sort of melts and actually heightens the flavour.
Yeah.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, it is nice with a cuppa, actually.
It's delicious. And which one's this one?
I think that's just the rose one.
Inspired by Turkish rose water, Merle has even created English rose flavours.
English roses taste much different. I know they changed it.
Which one's the English one, then, at that?
This one.
That one's more of an instant hit.
Yeah.
That one's a lot more subtle than that one.
Yeah.
Because that one it seems to be a purer, cleaner flavour.
It's definitely cleaner.
The fact that you're bringing those flavours in from this country and infusing it into Turkish, I think it works.
Thank you.
So you're going to show us how you make your Turkish Delight?
I am, yeah.
OK, so please take over my kitchen. If you want me to do anything, let me know.
All right.
It's all there.
OK, well, I thought I'd make a lemon verbena one. These leaves here, which have got the best smell ever. They're just so lovely, so lovely. So I thought that'd be a good one to do.
One,
yeah.
Lemon verbena is a fragrant garden herb used in cooking for its lemon flavour. Reminds me of sherbet lemons.
Yeah, it is a bit like that, yeah.
Mel uses it to give her sugar syrup a citrus kick.
And you just cook that for about 15 minutes on a sort of rolling boil, I suppose.
OK, yeah.
Right, the next stage is in a big heavy base pan, you've got to make up some corn flour mixed with a bit of cream and tartar to stop it going really gloopy, and water.
Yeah.
You just cook that for a little bit, and then it's just a matter of adding the syrup to the corn flour, which is the worst part, really.
Right, because that's when everything goes horribly wrong.
Go wrong, yeah.
Where'd you make all these?
Where? In my kitchen.
In your kitchen?
Yeah.
At home?
Yeah, yeah.
Dear me, does that take up your whole kitchen?
It takes up quite a lot of room, yeah. It's quite a small company because it's basically just me making it. So...
I like that, though. It's that small artisan touch.
Yeah.
So the whole thing is, once that's begun to slacken down and loosen off, you then add the syrup to that. Yeah, does that syrup have to be a specific temperature?
Well, I kind of go by colour, really, rather than temperature. So I'd say a pale golden is about the right colour.
I'm happy to give Merle a hand. Heated sugar syrup can be dangerous. Keep the kids well away if you try this at home. Do you want me to start tipping this in?
Yeah, if you could add in small amounts.
Make sure you use a heavy base pan for this job, as the mixture needs some serious beating.
basically you've just got to really get the syrup into the corn flour.
Do we have a go?
Go on then, please. Thank you. Speed.
I always think that. Give it a good beating.
So I've obviously not got the muscle power, I think.
Go on, add some more of that. Go on, straight in.
Right, mind your arm.
Go on. Yeah, that'll do. So it's beginning to slacken down a bit, isn't it?
Yeah, that's brilliant. And it's much easier to kind of
it does get easier. It's just slacken down. It's got a strange smell. It's a bit like caramel, but it's not as potent as caramel.
It is a bit like caramel.
Is that more how it
really
should
good.
be?
Yeah, that's brilliant. That's perfect.
So you carry on stirring this for 10 minutes, and then you cook it out for 10 minits, and then this mixture, which would be nice and thick, I'd imagine, by then. What happens to it then?
It's then poured into a tin. It's been lined with cling film and oiled.
There is one here that's still quite hot. Now, this colour here is what it turns into.
Yeah, it's a kind of golden, a golden colour. It can be slightly darker as well.
Yeah.
The darker, the more chewy, I think it goes.
Okay.
So that's the thing about homemade. It varies every time you make it very slightly.
So you get a chewy or sometimes just
totally
melts.
spot on, but I quite like that.
Pour the mix into the tin. You spread out, do you? Or does
Yeah,
it find its own level?
it will kind of find its own level.
And leave to set overnight.
So this is ready to cut now.
Aha.
Then just chop it up. And with the knife being oiled, it should get through quite easily. Sometimes it's a bit more sticky than that, and so it's a bit more difficult to cut, but you just basically
cut
chop
pieces
it up, and into your corn flour and icing sugar mixture. Once you've coated it, then you realise that, that's it. And, and the longer you leave it in the icing sugar, I mean, because it's fresh, it won't store for a long time, but it will absorb that icing sugar and it will get a little bit sweeter, because it's actually not very sweet at the moment, but once it's left in that for a bit, it will get a bit sweeter.
Well, how long, is there a peak? Is it like wine, it sort of peaks and then drops off?
Yeah,
or?
I'd say when it's about a week old, it's really nice, because it's had time to sit in that that icing sugar.
This is what I love. People taking the trouble to experiment with food like Merle does. She's creating new flavours and turning them into true Turkish delights.